Well, winter weather wreaked a little bit of havoc in the upstate today and also trickled on down to the Midlands, where Senate and House legislative sessions were canceled due to the inclement weather, as were dozens of meetings today and tomorrow. Now, there was still one meeting that met today. That was the House Utility Ratepayer Protection Committee, where Dominion Energy CEO Thomas Farrell was talking with lawmakers for 4 hours, fielding their questions today, just like he did in the Senate yesterday. He gave a little bit more detail about the deal, the $14.6 billion proposed merger between Dominion and SCANA, which is the parent company of SCE&G. It's an interesting meeting today, and obviously a lot came out of it, so let's jump right into it with here Representative Todd Rutherford questioning Thomas Farrell.
This is about business, and this is about a stock price, this is about shareholders, this is about debt, and kudos to you for coming in and dealing with questions that I think aren't going to get anywhere. But once we say that we're not going to do this, there's nothing that requires you to come before us, and there's nothing that requires you to do anything other than meet your regulatory burden of going to the PSC and asking for approval, which means that those things that you are offering, that you say it won't look like that, but we have no guarantee.
It will have local management. It will have local officers. Its HR department will be here. Much of its legal department will be here. Much of its rate department will be here. There will be thousands and thousands of employees. I don't know how many are in the Casey Center. It's a large building. There are not going to be very significant job losses. I understand your concern, a very legitimate one, sir. I just can't agree with your scenario.
And so to your credit, you have also talked about this doomsday scenario, which is real, because nothing stops a hedge fund guy from coming in right now, promising $57, but not telling them of what's to come because it's not in the energy business, strip all the assets out, and then South Carolina is, again, in a very bad position because we don't have anything to stop it. But to the deal that you all have placed on the table, 2025, 2026, 2018, let's go out 7 years, because that's where we are from the Base Load Review Act. What guarantees do we have besides the statements of a very nice CEO saying it won't be like that, to guarantee that the citizens of Richland, Lexington, those people that surround this headquarters will still have something to look up to and not a building filled with linemen? And I'm being facetious when I use that word.
I understand.
Yeah.
You can't run a business you can't run this kind of business that way. We're not like a hedge fund where somebody can sit in New York and use their computers. This is a people business. You need to be in front of your customers. You need to be in front of legislators, policymakers. There are many legal issues around these companies that apply only to state of South Carolina, and part of SCANA's courses in North Carolina. Sir, I understand your concern. A lot of what you're talking about is dealt with in the merger agreement. And all I can tell you is, sir, that you can't run a utility the way you're describing. And we're happy to talk to people about your concerns.
But from the very beginning, I don't believe that customers in South Carolina should have to continue to pay for a project they will receive nothing for. And I understand your argument that the BLRA was in place and the BLRA allowed for it, but and I understand your scenarios of what may transpire if the BLRA goes away. I think they're legitimate. Nobody has a crystal ball, and none of us can look into the future to know exactly how that would transpire. But help me understand how someone who does not believe, bottom line, a customer should have to continue to pay for a project that they're never going to get anything out of or any benefit from. How do I support something that makes them continue to pay for that?
I understand, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for your remarks about our company.
Sure.
We're very proud of our reputation.
Yes, sir.
And I think we've earned it. I know that's the most important question, if you're sitting in your chairs. I understand that completely. The problem is that the alternative is far worse. And I know that you don't have a crystal ball. But some of this is not much fortune telling. It's a matter of what will happen. You've seen the path is laid out by the rating agencies. Moody's and S&P have said, they've issued reports that says they will move to junk status at SCANA, now at SCE&G. Bankruptcies, I know that the one that's going on in Texas right now is over 4 years old. There have been 5 or 6 suitors that have been in and out of there. I have no idea, sir. I know that bankruptcies are very, very messy and very, very expensive. We have said, I've told the speaker here, and I've told President Leatherman, and I've told the governor's office, that we cannot see a way to purchase Santee Cooper that makes any sense for us. There may be somebody else who can figure out a way to do it. We can't figure out a way to do it. That would make sense for us or for Santee Cooper, the government. I mean, you all own it. I mean, it's the state of South Carolina. Now, there are other things you can look at for which we have signed a confidentiality agreement with the governor's office. So I'm trying to be as completely forthright as I can and maintain the confidentiality of that agreement, sir. So, no, we're not interested in buying Santee Cooper.
Well, like I said, it was a very short day today up here at the State House with both the House and the Senate out, as well as the House and the Senate tomorrow, Thursday, will also be out, and all the meetings have been canceled. So return with us next week with lawmakers on Tuesday when they come back in for a full week. Also, Governor Henry McMaster's first State of the State address has been postponed until next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We're going to carry that for you live on South Carolina ETV and South Carolina Public Radio at 7 p.m. next Wednesday. Also, stay with SCE&G throughout the 2018 legislative session. Follow daily legislative recaps every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on SCE&G's Facebook page, our YouTube page, and my Twitter account @Gavin Jackson. I'm Gavin Jackson from the State House in Columbia.